So I promised you guys like an overlook review video of this 96 that we just picked up. Now this bike is in remarkable shape. I don't believe it's ever been redone or touched. I think it's all pretty much stock. I know it's got a Pro Circuit pipe on it and Pro Circuit silencer. It's got a factory racing Boyson cover, but I have all the original stuff that came with the bike. I'll let you guys take a look here. But I'm gonna go over this bike and tell me what you guys think. But I don't think you would find a nicer bike that's not in the crate. Well, this is our 96 that we just picked up. I actually, let me tell you the story behind this bike. So I decided, like Craigslist, up here in Canada we use Kijiji, it's like Craigslist. So I put an ad on Kijiji saying, looking for a 96. I've always wanted one, never had one. Just the last year, the steel frame, you know, it's an iconic bike. It's the McGrath bike. It's got all sorts of history with it. It's just an amazing motocross bike. So I actually put an ad up hoping to find like one that's beat up, you know, I can redo the motor and stuff like that. But a local guy called me and he says, hey, I got one. I actually got his recording of his voicemail he left me, and I'll try and add it in.
Hi, this is regarding your ad looking for a 96 CR250. I've got one. It's near perfect. It's totally original, except for grips. And I mean, original tires, chains, sprockets, everything. It's beautiful. It's not a project. If you're looking for a project, it's probably not the right bike for you. But I have one, and I'm not too far away.
But anyway, after the conversation, the gentleman tells me, I've got a 96. And basically, if you're looking for a restoration bike, this isn't the bike. This is a bike that needs to be preserved. So I said, well, I'll come take a look. You're close, right? Because some people's idea of mint is a lot different than another person's idea of mint. You know, we've all been there. I got a mint bike and you show up and the thing is just a beater. But anyway, let's go over this bike and take a better look. So we'll start at the rear here, the rear of the bike. We'll take a look. It's still got the sticker that was here. Now this one's pretty faded, but you can see the chain drive sticker on the inside of the swing arm is in mint shape, which is pretty surprising. Stock original Sunstar sprockets, right from factory. Stock chain, you know, everything is stock. It's even got the stock pads, the original tires that came on it from the factory. Now basically, I believe that I'm the third owner of this bike. And the way the story goes is it was owned by a farmer, he bought it, you know, but the guy was a big guy, is what the guy who I bought it off of said. He was a monster of a man. So this guy who was a monster of a man basically was like, you know, 6'10", 300 and something pounds. And he said, I can't ride the bike, it's too small for me, I need a bigger bike. And he just kind of kept it in his barn. And this guy who I bought it off of showed up and he was looking for a bike during COVID. So he paid a pretty good penny for it and I paid a pretty good penny for it off of him. But he bought it off the guy. Original tires, like I said. And basically I think the guy only took it out like once a year, either rode it around his fields or pulled catwalk down the road. But everything is perfect on this bike. Now the guy I bought it off of, he acquired a Pro Circuit pipe and silencer because he likes Pro Circuit. I bought it on eBay and put it on. He bought these Work Connections plates. There's no wear under these plates. When we take this bike apart, we'll take a look at it. But there's no wear on this bike hardly anywhere. Obviously, the bike's a 96, so the original tank is doing a little bit of yellowing, but still in really good shape. Original plastics, all Honda plastics. Honda graphics, nothing's been changed. We take a look up here at the stock front tire. It's in really good shape. Still has the paint on it. You see the yellow and you can see the green striping. Still has a bunch of the nipples. This bike really should be preserved. When I was loading this bike up, the gentleman I bought it off of, he said, I really hope you don't ride this bike. And I said, well, I'm gonna ride it, but I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm not gonna trail ride this bike. We're not gonna bush hog it and beat the hell out of it, but we are going to enjoy this bike. everything is just in good shape. There's no play in the kickstart, like no up and down play here. It's mint. The brake levers, there's no play in the foot pegs, like nothing. The original paint on the foot pegs is just remarkable. I went over this whole bike for like a couple hours to try and make sure this guy wasn't trying to scam me. And the only question I had when I was looking at this bike, the only thing that worried me, that this motor might have been apart. Now the gaskets are all in good shape. It hasn't been tore apart, I don't think, but it could have been, and I'm not sure. The original center, the two cases, are the normal aluminum. And I don't know in 96 if they painted the outer clutch case, because this paint is perfect. And like the water pump cover's painted, obviously this cover's painted, has a little bit of boot wear for the minimal amount that this bike has been rode. But I imagine if the guy was 6'10" or whatever, he probably had some big walk on water size feet. So, you know, he probably scrubbed it a bit. But all the frame rails, perfect, a little bit of wear here. And I looked at this wear and went, why did this wear? This doesn't move. But somebody has tried to adjust the shock, and they've put a tool in here and wore some of the paint off. But the frame rails are mint, and I've got some video there I'm gonna link in so you guys can see the underside of the frame rail underneath the bike here. You can see the condition they're in. But we take a good look at the swing arm, and there's not a nick anywhere. My hand is just gliding along. There's not even like a stone chip. Everything is just perfect. A little bit of wear here. I don't know if the bike got laid over at one point, but a little bit of wear on the original cover. But this bike is in pristine shape for the year. And like I said, I really don't think you'd find a nicer one. Try and peek a view at the radiators here, and there's not a flaw on the radiators anywhere. We'll get a video from the front. I know it's hard to video the condition of these rads, but they are perfect. There is not a flaw in them. You guys can tell. Hardly any wear on by the triple clamp here, even where the cables are rubbing, you know, no wear. Like this bike's barely rode. Just a very tiny bit of wear from the cables rubbing on the paint up here, but no yellowing on the frame. I really had to take a good look to try and figure out if this bike had been painted, but I don't think it's been repowder coated or anything. The original plastics, just a pristine collector's edition. So as far as the bike goes, I'm not 100% sure what we're gonna do with this bike. I really wanna ride it. So I ordered a full aftermarket plastic kit, ordered brand new stock graphics, because what I'm feeling like I should do is switch out the handlebars to some aftermarket handlebars, preserve these ones, like I mean wrap them up, save all the plastic. So the only part this bike is missing is the disc cover, the plastic disc cover in the nuclear red or whatever they call it. And if you guys know where to get one, brand new, let me know, because I'd love to get one for the bike. If it's a factory Honda brand new one and you reach out and you got one, maybe we can work something out, because that would be awesome. But I'm gonna save all the factory Honda stuff, other than the seat, because it's just so nice. But I should save the seat. It's just, how much do you save, where do you stop? But I'm gonna replace all the plastic with aftermarket, so it looks brand new. We got the factory sticker kit. Get this bike looking new. We're gonna put Renthal bars on it because we don't wanna wreck the original stock bars. We're gonna get different rims, everything. I think we should just do it all, because we don't want to tarnish what we have. But this bike, it just really hits home for me. It's what I was looking for. Now, I've never really bought a bike I didn't have to build, so it's a little different than buying a bike you got to take apart and build. So we got the original stock pipe. Now I put a tag on it so I don't mix it up with any of my other stuff, but this is the one that came off the bike. Take a look at this thing. So it'd be on the bike like that, and there's not a dent or a nick in the paint, like a little bit of wear there from rubbing, but this pipe is immaculate. Anybody looking to do a restoration build would love to see this. But Obviously I can't let it go. We need to keep it with the bike. I've debated putting it back on. Now I like Pro Circuit, and if I'm gonna ride the bike and maybe we do a vet race or something with it, or just even a vet ride, I'm not really that good at racing anymore. But immaculate shape, this pipe. And the stock silencer is just as nice. No dents, other than obviously the dent from factory. But this, it's just immaculate. Everything is perfect. The paint, look at the paint on the back of the silencer, not even wore off. The paint on the front of the silencer, nothing is touched. It's like, do I even clean it? There's so many questions with this bike. It's so perfect. Now the Pro Circuit pipe and silencer, it's even era appropriate. This is 96. It's not like the guy went and bought himself a shorty, new shorty from Pro Circuit. He went on eBay and he found an era appropriate, even the proper stickers and stuff from 96 to really go with the bike. So I wish it was a works bike. It's not, it's a platinum, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. That stuff's hard to find. The only other real red flag that caught me off guard with this bike was the petcock. Now the petcock's backwards like an old racer trick. So maybe the guy who bought this originally switched it. I don't know. But the petcock, I'm sure didn't come this way from Honda. Now I've tried to look it up and there's really not like a pile of information. But the petcock is backwards, obviously facing into the bike so nothing hits it and shuts your fuel off when you're racing. So there's even the shifter, guys. The shifter, there's hardly any play, a little bit. Now we have ordered a new one and it's here to go on this bike, so we don't want to damage it. But the foot pegs, look at the paint on the foot pegs, is perfect. There's no flaws on this bike. Now, this bike has massive compression. Like when I went to go kick it with my shoes on, like I can barely crank it over. It's just got huge compression. Like the motor is fresh, brand new. I'm gonna go put a pair of boots on and then we're gonna fire this bike up. So funny story to tell you guys, the guy I bought it off, he was a big guy. He bought it off an even bigger guy. And I'm not that big of a guy. But the guy, like the compression is ridiculous on this bike. So I'm wearing a boot. The guy I bought it off of, he goes, I'm gonna put a boot on just to be safe. I said, you sure, put your boot on. He's gonna fire the bike up for me so I can see it. He gets on the bike and he kicks this thing like it's butter. Like it's just gravy for him, nothing at all. I get the bike home, I'm gonna fire it up to show, you know, what I bought to my girlfriend, and she doesn't really care, but I wanted to show her. I wanted a reason to start it. And I go to kick it and I'm like, holy crap. Really made me feel like less of a man, because that guy, he kicked it like it was nothing. Oh, almost. Anyway, guys, that's the overview of this 96 we picked up. It's just a great bike. Yeah, runs pretty good. Obviously, it hasn't ran much, so we're gonna take it apart. We're gonna take the carb apart. We're gonna clean it. We're not gonna take the motor apart. But like I said, guys, the biggest concerns I had was if this clutch case has ever been off and painted or been replaced. Do you guys know, does anybody know out there who's watching this, some 96 guru, did they come painted stock? That's basically what I'm asking. I think this bike is all original. I don't think You know, even the plastics, they're all Honda plastics, but obviously some scratches on the front one. This bike was used. It didn't just come out of a crate, but I don't think you'd find a nicer one. Anyway, guys, leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything like this out where you guys are, or anything you want to talk about. I love talking dirt bikes. But thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.